What if your morning coffee was secretly working against you this whole time? Most people just pour their cup and never think twice about what is inside it. With a few simple additions, that same cup could burn far more fat daily. It could sharpen your focus, boost your energy, and even activate autophagy inside your body. And what you are about to discover may completely change the way you look at your health. Welcome to Real Health Logic. Caffeine is one of the most studied compounds that scientists have ever examined closely. We have spent decades learning exactly how caffeine works deep inside the human body. We know it boosts adrenaline levels, mobilizes stored fat, and sharpens your mental focus significantly. But caffeine alone is just the beginning of what your morning coffee can actually do. The real power comes when you pair caffeine with the right supporting compounds every day. These are not random additions, they multiply caffeine's effects in very specific, powerful ways. Today we cover 5 additions that transform your ordinary coffee into something far more powerful. Let us start with the first one, because it gets misunderstood by almost everyone constantly. Most people have heard about adding fat to coffee, usually in the form of butter. The popular bulletproof coffee trend promised more energy, better focus, and a cleaner mental state. But simply adding butter to your coffee mostly just slows down caffeine absorption into your blood. That has a minor effect, yes, but the real power in that recipe is different. The true hero of that combination is not the butter at all, it is MCT oil. MCT stands for medium-chain triglycerides, and they behave very differently from all other dietary fats. Normal fats take a long journey through digestion before they ever reach your cells for energy. MCTs skip that entire process and absorb directly into the portal vein almost immediately after consumption. They travel straight to the liver, giving your body fast, clean energy without spiking blood glucose. MCTs are processed so rapidly that they actually trigger their own adrenaline spike inside your body. Caffeine also triggers an adrenaline spike, so combining both gives you a powerful double adrenaline response. That means more alertness, more drive, and significantly more stored fat being pulled out and burned. A study in the International Journal of Obesity compared 2 groups eating identical total amounts of fat. One group consumed mostly MCT oil, while the other consumed long-chain fats from animal tallow instead. The MCT oil group burned more total calories and showed a dramatic increase in fat oxidation. When you combine that fat-burning power with caffeine's ability to mobilize fat, the synergy is undeniable. Minimal extra calories, maximum metabolic impact. That is exactly what MCT oil adds to your coffee. Now let us talk about something that gets dismissed far too often, and it costs people results. Carnitine is a compound your body produces naturally. So many people assume they always have enough. But that assumption is completely wrong, especially if you exercise regularly and push your body hard. Exercise depletes carnitine stores faster than your body can naturally replenish them on its own daily. Even when carnitine stores are present, metabolic dysfunction can block your body from using it properly. Here is why carnitine matters so deeply when we are talking about coffee and caffeine together. Caffeine is excellent at mobilizing fat. It pulls stored fat out and releases it into the bloodstream. But that mobilized fat still has to get inside your cells before it can actually be burned. That is exactly where carnitine steps in, as the critical transport shuttle your body desperately needs. Carnitine carries fatty acids across the mitochondrial membrane, directly into the cell's energy-producing engine room. Think of it simply: caffeine opens the door, and carnitine walks the fat right through it. A study in the Journal of Nutritional Sciences and Vitaminology tested caffeine alone and carnitine alone separately. Then, researchers tested both compounds together, and the co-ingestion results were genuinely remarkable across every marker. The combined group showed better endurance, higher fat oxidation, and noticeably sharper cognitive performance simultaneously. Researchers found elevated non-esterified carnitine in participant urine, showing the body was transporting more fat actively. More fat being transported means more fat actually getting burned inside the cell as usable fuel. A separate study in clinical medicine also found that carnitine alone improves cognitive function meaningfully on its own. So you get brain benefits stacked directly on top of the already powerful fat-burning benefits daily. Caffeine and carnitine working together is one of the most effective natural combinations available to anyone. The next addition is going to genuinely surprise you because it goes against common health advice completely. Health-conscious coffee drinkers typically reach for zero-calorie sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit, or artificial options daily. These feel like the smart, safe choice, and in many situations they are perfectly reasonable options. But growing research is revealing that one natural sweetener offers something those alternatives simply cannot ever match. That sweetener is honey, and the science behind its effects on metabolism is becoming very hard to ignore. A major review published in the journal Nutrients found that honey actually enhances insulin sensitivity quite significantly. It stabilizes blood glucose levels and protects the pancreas from overstimulation caused by ongoing insulin resistance. The antioxidant compounds inside quality honey work at the cellular level to reduce oxidative stress meaningfully. They lower inflammation and improve how efficiently your cells respond to insulin signals throughout the entire day. Not all honey is equal, though cheap commercial honey is often little more than processed liquid sugar. High-quality raw honey, especially varieties like Manuka, contains rich concentrations of polyphenols and powerful antioxidant compounds. When you drink coffee, which in larger amounts can slightly stress insulin pathways, honey may help offset that. A small deliberate amount of the right honey adds metabolic protection no artificial sweetener can ever provide. This next addition is a personal favorite, and the science behind it is genuinely extraordinary to understand. L-theanine is an amino acid found naturally occurring inside green tea leaves in meaningful amounts daily. It works well on its own, but combined with caffeine, something truly remarkable happens inside your brain. Caffeine is a stimulant that increases alertness by blocking adenosine receptors and triggering your adrenaline response. But caffeine also causes vasoconstriction. It tightens blood vessels and slightly reduces blood flow to your brain. Theanine does the complete opposite by acting as a vasodilator that opens vessels and improves brain circulation. It also inhibits the glutamatergic response, preventing your brain from becoming dangerously overstimulated by caffeine alone. This is exactly why caffeine plus theanine feels so completely different from taking caffeine all by itself. Caffeine alone can make you jittery, scattered, and anxious in ways that hurt your daily productivity significantly. Add theanine and the edges smooth out, entirely focus sharpens, and your thoughts become cleaner and directed. A study in nutritional neuroscience gave participants either caffeine alone or caffeine paired with theanine together carefully. The dose was 50 milligrams of caffeine combined with 100 milligrams of theanine given to each participant. At both 60 and 90 minutes, the combination group showed greater alertness than the caffeine-only group did. More impressively, they showed measurably better task-switching ability and reduced susceptibility to distraction throughout the testing period. Laser focus, mental agility, and staying locked in without getting pulled off track, that is the result. The recommended ratio is simple 2 parts theanine for every 1 part of caffeine you consume daily. 1 average cup of coffee has roughly 100 milligrams of caffeine, so pair it with 200 milligrams theanine. That ratio consistently produces the cleanest, most focused cognitive state you can achieve from natural compounds alone. Theanine also protects your sleep. Caffeine disrupts slow-wave deep sleep even when you feel like you slept fine. Theanine taken in the evening helps counteract that disruption so your body can fully recover overnight properly. Better deep sleep means better fat metabolism, sharper brain function, and stronger energy the very next morning. Now for the final addition, and this one works very differently from everything else we have covered today. The first four compounds amplify coffee's positive effects in meaningful and measurable ways for your body directly. This last addition protects you from one of caffeine's less discussed downsides that accumulates quietly over time. Research has increasingly shown that excessive caffeine consumption can impair insulin sensitivity in real, measurable ways. For moderate coffee drinkers, this is not dramatic, but it is real, and it builds up gradually. This is exactly where cinnamon becomes quietly one of the most powerful protective additions you can make. A well-documented study found that 500 milligrams of cinnamon daily reduced insulin resistance and lowered fasting blood glucose. It also improved HbA1c levels and reduced both overall body fat and dangerous visceral fat around organs. These are serious metabolic improvements that doctors track as meaningful indicators of your long-term health outcomes. In vitro studies confirm that cinnamon has potent anti-inflammatory properties working directly at the cellular level daily. That anti-inflammatory action is most likely responsible for all the insulin-sensitizing effects seen in human studies consistently. Adding cinnamon to your coffee is a targeted, evidence-backed strategy that costs almost nothing at all daily. It counterbalances the insulin stress that heavy caffeine use creates while adding antioxidant and anti-inflammatory protection simultaneously. A small pinch, or half a teaspoon stirred in, protects the entire metabolic environment your other compounds need. Now here is what is truly important to understand about everything that we have covered together today, carefully. Each of these 5 additions works meaningfully on its own, in isolation, when used correctly and consistently. But the real power comes from understanding how all 5 connect and support each other simultaneously every day. Caffeine mobilizes fat from storage and releases it directly into your bloodstream where it can be used. Mixed oil accelerates that fat use by providing a rapid, clean energy source that bypasses glucose entirely. Carnitine then shuttles the mobilized fat directly into your cells where it gets converted into usable fuel. Theanine refines the cognitive output, so your brain operates at its absolute highest capacity throughout the day. Honey and cinnamon protect the insulin environment, so none of these powerful benefits get undermined by metabolic stress. And beneath all of this, something even deeper is happening inside your body at the cellular level. When fat oxidation increases, when cellular stress drops, and when inflammation decreases, your body shifts into repair mode. These are the exact internal conditions that support and activate autophagy, your body's powerful cellular self-cleaning process. Autophagy removes damaged proteins, recycles cellular waste, and keeps your entire biology running efficiently and cleanly daily. Your morning coffee was never just a simple drink you poured out of habit every single morning. It was always a powerful biological tool waiting for you to finally learn how to use it properly. Now you know exactly how, and nothing about your morning routine will ever look the same again.